Well, I just saw we got 10 subscribers, so that's a little bit of a miracle. Wow, 10's not a big number, Derek. Well, when you've had this service for a year, getting close to a year, and you've been out here knowing how hard it is when you can't get, you know, nobody hardly except for, like I said, only time it seems like I get compliment or anybody who comments on something you don't want or can't read. But don't know who all of them are. But if they're viewing the videos and they like something or playlists as we got, thank you for that. But we don't chat much. We don't get nobody to chat much on here. Like I said, that's a certain thing we'd hope for, but it's gonna be tough to find that. But I'm still keeping my options open. Looking on some other stuff, and I got one this morning that messaged me. My wife just woke up. I just now thought of it. I wrote some long messages back. She wrote me one, so I wrote one back. Well, it's about three. So when I write something, it's about two paragraphs. But anyway, I'll see what this one does. She didn't have all her stuff filled out, but she wrote me something and had a picture. So anyway, I'm gonna go back on that and see if she responds. But I gave her I gave her our numbers in case she wanted to text. I told her to text us first so we didn't think it was the wrong number. So that's what I always do. Unlike my wife, you know, well, thing is, as long as my wife's ever since this girl about 2 days ago started this BS, which by the way is getting taken care of. As I said, um, simple thing. If you ever get a wrong number and they text you, or they may even send a picture. At one time, I think it was, one time it seemed like I got a picture from some girl. It wasn't a naked picture, but it was a picture of her body. I think at least of her belly, or some portion of her a little bit. So I wrote back and I said something like, "Oh wow, that's." And so I gave a compliment on the picture, and then she wrote back, said, "Oh, I think I got the wrong number." She apologized. But she meant to send to somebody else because she could tell by the way I responded. Because I reckon the person that she would have expected a different compliment or a different way of wording. She kind of knew the way I worded it. But anyway, just advice to people out here. It's not that you don't know this, but sometimes it helps if you kind of have a memory lapse. When anybody calls or texts, like I don't usually even answer them. So but if you was to think about, well, this might be, my dad would. I tell you, my dad would not. If you didn't give him your number, he wouldn't answer you. And if you was to say, well, it's just a text, well, I mean, if you don't, like me for one thing, if you don't talk to somebody on one of these social sites and you're not, doing um, the thing that because I've got a lot of sites. I've been trying to look up different ones, different things, trying these lesser known ones to see what happens. But there's no guarantees. But at least, hey, if I said, hey, I've messaged them, I know what's going on, and it's not just some random person like my wife just sitting here, and this random person just all of a sudden decided just to text this number, and it was on a guy's profile because it was his number prior to my wife getting it. My wife got a recycled number, and that's why you know, that sometimes you'll get calls. But if you don't, if you're an adult and you get one of these, and you can kind of tell sometimes even by the text, and if they're dumb enough to send a picture, my wife, I don't think she sent one right away, but over time, she sent some of herself. Like I said, I'm not knocking. Well, I know, but I'm saying the naked pictures. Or saying, I don't think it was right away, but it was, the girl sent one of her when she was down there at the police station. Cause she knew, like I said, this woman knew, or girl, this teenage girl knew she wasn't talking to this guy, but she didn't think. And the reason, like I said, today's kids, they need to have this stuff in school. They don't need to worry about a lot of the math and a lot of the stuff, unless you just got a specific job, it doesn't really pay that much off anyway. English is more likely to pay off better than most things. Even though I don't like it, but that I could see. Plus, minus, times tables and things like that I could see. Driver's ed I could see. Sex ed I could see. It needs to be, in there. There's a lot of this stuff, though, about technology and social media. And, we worry about the ghost in the sky. We worry about the freaking politicians and all that. I don't. My wife don't. Let me make that clear. But a lot of you people have and do. And you worry about things you can't control, you can't help. Me and my wife, we don't worry about that. I don't want to be talking behind a computer, or I don't want to send out money cards and codes and being going through all these silly games you see people doing, or worrying about our money and all that. If somebody meets me or my wife, they're going to meet us the right way. It'll be somebody who knows that they want something to do with you, and that your offer is as it is. If they want to take it, they can take it. If they want to leave it alone and let someone else have a shot at it, okay. Like I said, it's not that hard. You know what I'm saying? But, the thing of it is it's hard to sometimes get this through people's heads, and sometimes it's the refusal of the person in question wanting to take no for an answer. It could be the parents' fault. It could be a bunch of things. Like I said, I think it should have child-proof phones. I think a child should have a phone, but I think it should be child-proof, and nothing. And because if they can make these technology phones with all these apps on it, they could have a phone with restrictions for kids under the age, and a grown-up phone should be just like if you're out there, smoking a cigarette, or if you're drinking, it should be like an age, a certain age, it should be like a 18 to 21 or some kind of an age, age thing set. I mean, I think kids ought to have, like I said last night, I think kids should have a phone if their immediate family needs to get a hold of them, or they've got some school friends or something. But they need to come up with some of this shit, they need to get with it. And, if that means, only having, the application stuff where they can only get on kids only stuff or something, family movies or something that, have a restriction type phone for kids. And they could do that. But social media and all that stuff, because what happened to my wife could happen to anybody. And I told her, I said, he was lucky it was who it was. It wasn't somebody else. I myself and my wife don't like to do things like that and send, pictures like that, of ourselves, our body completely nude, uh, like that. It's just not something we do. And it's not, something that we do as a, it's just not, I've always told my wife that, it's, to me, it's the same reason I wouldn't do anything out in public. Man, I would rather enjoy it somewhere in the privacy of our home. If you're going to do something adult themed or something like that, you do it in your home or somewhere where it's comfortable to you, and where if we ever found somebody or they liked what we were offering, if it turned out that way, okay. But you're not going to go out there and be, showing all your goodies off in public. You got to cover your stuff up if you're a young teenager or a young lady. All ladies should, but definitely kids, should. It's just, I mean, like I say, anything can happen at any given time. We know that in today's world is, it's gotten out of hand out there. It's just, um, but hopefully things will get better. And maybe some of my videos and my wife's points of view will get out there. Maybe some of the stuff will finally get noticed, like all the other movements. We need to have a movement about all this, and need to get somewhere. Just like the school shootings, them kids calling for people to do something about that. Well, this is one of these things too. It's always going under the radar, but I feel that if there's something to vote on now, that this needs to be brought up. And, there is a reason to go out and vote for politicians, no matter what. For me, it's hard to always explain, but I always just go. If I was going to vote, I'd vote with who I thought would best be equipped to run the country. I've only voted one time, and I've regretted doing it. But if I ever voted again, I would, and I don't even know where my voting card's at. It's somewhere, but who knows? It's somewhere in here.
In my box.
But if I were to vote, it would have to be somebody that I really thought, and not to say that they're going to be perfect, but I would only do it if I felt led that there was somebody that I knew would have our best interest at heart. I know that'd be a lot of them. That, oh yeah, they stick up. Everybody sticks up for every president for some reason or another. But I'm not a big Trump fan. I'm not gonna run his ass over. I think I've done it enough. But he just wasn't perfect for the job. He wanted what celebrity attention he can get. It's bad enough. I guess he's not doing as good in his real estate and his other adventures out there. He just ain't got a TV show to do. So, it made sense for him. That's what got him his attention. And he went out there on a live microphone and most time cut loose on everybody, calling everybody names. Nobody thinks about that about Donald Trump. They always say, "Oh, he helped the economy," and he did this. He built a freaking wall, or and there's no telling what other things he's done. But and some people want to praise him for that. But if you looked at 99% of the presidents, all of them have done that, just about. And so you gotta have a standard. And as a president, you can't be going out there and cussing up a storm and inciting violence of any kind, and riots. You've got to and a president ought to be, held to a standard. Uh, I hate to say it, but I'd rather seen Hillary get it. I know Hillary would not have incited violence. She wouldn't have, no matter how I was questionable about her a little bit, but you know, when she ran in 2016, in a way, I could have seen she could have done a lot better than Trump. Just in the areas I'm speaking of. Now, would she make mistakes? Of course, they all do. They all got an agenda, and they all get like 20 or 30 things put down on a list, and only a certain few of those ever get done, ever get accomplished, because it has to go through the House, it has to go through Congress, and they have to get approved by governors and mayors of all kinds of stuff, depending on what it is and who it has to go to and where it has to end up. You know, but in my personal opinion, Donald Trump shouldn't be allowed to run for president. I knew they were going to let his butt off scot free, pretty much. So, and I think now I heard that they've changed their mind. Now they've re-voted on something else, and I just seen this flash across my computer. I don't know. I try to stay out of the news as much as possible, but they need to do the right thing. Don't do it. It goes back to when Clinton. Clinton lied, told a big lie about Monica Lewinsky and all that thing, that whole deal. And they wanted to believe him because he hadn't done anything else wrong. And I guess, it turned out he was lying about it the whole time, But we all do it, to get out of something. And nobody's perfect, but, when you're dealing with, you're the leader, you're the protector, you're the one that's protecting us. And whatever he says or she says is what we go by, and we have no choice. So that's why I'm saying they should have. It's worse than trying to take care of your own kids. You're taking care of the whole world. You're responsible for all things that people, like Medicare and things for the nurse, things for all ages. You're responsible for kids in some way, even though you don't go home with them. The choices these presidents make, cigarettes and beer and drugs. If I were president and ever could be and ever could have been president, I would have took note on that and would have made my list out to take care of that. Yeah, and taking guns off the streets. I don't give a damn about people hunting deers and rabbits and all that stuff. I don't believe animals should be killed. Now, if you're talking about snakes or something like that, I might would feel different. I don't like snakes, but killing the innocent deers and stuff like that, and Derek, that's how we eat. Well, but you don't have to go out there and participate. There's enough people. Like I told my wife, there's a lot of this food that we eat comes from, the cows and stuff like that. They take them, and kill innocent animals, so we can eat. So, even though I'm not a big component of it, it just shows, nobody wouldn't take. Everybody's like, oh, dogs and cats, and all this other stuff. They would be tearing up, but we're not, human beings that we are. We don't think about these cows. And, that's how we get That's how we get milk and ice cream, and cheese, and all kinds of other stuff. Now you don't have to kill them, for the milk portion or dairy portion stuff, but the meat part, is where they would have to. There's a purpose for all animals. We may not always understand it, but there's got to be some purpose, even for bees. Even though I hate bees and all those things, they make honey. And I don't like them. I don't like them in the house. So of course, hardly anybody would, or anybody. I don't think anybody would. But anyway, you know, it's just got to the point where I guess telling this one, my views on things, my wife's views on stuff. It ain't everybody's. Not everybody's going to agree, but I think if we could get 70-80% of the world to agree with our views, I think just in general raising other people's kids up, having functions and putting money and effort toward that, not just towards an education, but towards a person's brain, and having these gym things like me and my wife. And when our generation was in school, you had these every now and then you'd have one of these things where these cops would come to your school, fire engines and stuff like that, and it'd have safety tips and things. And I just think it ought to be a subject, that needs to be brought up and always put in schools, not just the Bible. The Bible ain't gonna tell you everything. It's in Hebrew or whatever that is, and instead of saying the seventh day, they say the Sabbath day or whatever. That just tries to confuse. To me, it's more confusing. If they just do it in perfect English, it'd be a lot better. Have an English translation Bible, full English. And so again, there's views on stuff and everything that I think like I told people here recently, a lot of people try to reimagine everything and try to forget about the old ways of doing things, but the old ways are the way to go. Doesn't mean we're perfect, but it's the way to go. Drinking and driving don't work. Smoking and doing drugs just cause you'll get a whole host of other people doing it. Yeah, and then one of these days y'all wind up, not being here. And some of them might say, "Well, I don't care." Well, if you don't care, then that must mean you're shot, that you have no goals. Excuse me. You certainly won't have any reason to make the news, except for when you're in the back of the newspaper in the obituaries. So that'll be the only time they'll see you. Or in my case, I was in the paper a couple times. I was in there when I was first born. They had a big thing right up about me and when I was first born or whatever. And then I got in a newspaper again over the 9/11 thing when in Athens, Tennessee. I was shopping at the Athens Walmart. And I answered the question that they asked us, the reporter. I knew he was a reporter. He asked me the question. I gave him the honest answer I could give him. No, I don't think we're safer today than we were when it happened, because we are a free country. Japan, China, you can name every country in the world. They're jealous of us. Even Canada's jealous of us. And from what I know, Canada won't even let you in now without being vaccinated. I laughed at that when I heard about all that. I was like, well, I don't travel as it is anyway. But I remember that thing with John Cena and the whole thing where he was learning I guess their language is Mandarin, called Mandarin or whatever. And he's sitting over there when he made the Fast and Furious 9 movie, and he was opening up about something about Taiwan being a, a country or whatever, and or something like that, and that's like throwing a big fit, and China's like, you know, had mentioned it back, had heard about it. He got reported on, and John Cena got in trouble for basically calling Taiwan a country. Well, if that's what it really is, that's what it is. China can't do anything to John Cena. Whoopie doo dah, like Jim Cornette said. Whoopie doo dah if they were going to punish him and he couldn't work on a movie in China. Who wants to go to China? Nobody. In the right mind, it's like I always said, we're in America. We got 50 states. There's no need to go anywhere else. You got 50 states. If we didn't travel all over parts of the world and feel the need to go over there, which me and my wife don't, but most people did at the time, probably think different now. Because you get over there, you get diseases and things over there, and then you end up bringing that stuff over here, and then it just causes a big problem. I also think we should, if we hadn't already, we ought to close our borders up. Yeah, we're supposed to be a free country, and we're supposed to allow the right for people to come over, or was to come over and everything. But when you do that, and if you're allowing stuff to get done, stuff to be brought over that may harm us. And so, from what I understand, not China, but Canada has took a stance. So anybody not vaccinated, I guess, with that COVID shot, won't be allowed to go over there. Well, like I said, we don't take those shots, so I'm not worried about it anyway. It has no means to me, but I reckon I looked up on today. We won 2-1 last night. The Braves did, the Atlanta Braves. So we're 2-1 for the year. We're going to play the Reds one more time. You can play one team up to 4 times in a series. So today's the final game. We'll either win 3 out of 4, or we'll be 2-2 today. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Braves again. We did really good last night. I like that Austin Riley comes out to Stone Cold Steve Austin's music, on his walk-up music. I think Matt Olson's doing a pretty good job, replacing Freddie Freeman, and I think he's actually going to do a lot better. He swings a lot better. He seems to do a lot for Braves. Just 3 games I've seen of him, he seems to do pretty good. I just looked up Freddie Freeman and saw that he's got 1,701 hits as of last year complete. So yeah, it's going to take him probably 2 seasons just to get to 2,000. So he's not usually and even if he got over 200 hits, just to say, he still would take till next year to get him to 2,000. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on how good Freddie does in LA. By the time his contract runs out, I could very well see the Braves making a pitch for him and getting him a 1 or 2 year deal at that point. But later on. But no. Here, Albert Pujols is finally calling it a retirement after this year. 2001 seems a long time ago. Time goes by fast. He's at 679 homers. He likes 21 being at 700. He'd only be the fourth person in the history of baseball to reach 700 homers. We got close with Alex Rodriguez. We got close with Ken Griffey. But, only three people have ever hit 700 homers in Major League Baseball, and that's Ruth, Aaron, and Bonds. So that'll definitely be a watcher. And I was shocked to see Albert Pujols only getting 12 homers last year and only like 38 RBIs and a 254 batting average. So his age must be catching up with him. He's only 42, and I would think, he signed he was a little late. I mean, he signed in May, but I was like, man, in 5 months he only hit 12 homers. So he's a career 297 hitter. Freddie's a career 295 lifetime hitter, but has way less stats than Albert Pujols on hits. But, Albert Pujols has got 3,300 something hits. So, yeah, he's not going to get Pete Rose or nothing, but he might get about 3,400 hits or a little over that. He'll get close to Derek Jeter's numbers on the hits thing. But anyway, so we may have a 700 home run club joiner here pretty soon. Wish Freddie Freeman well. I'm glad to hear that he's not got any bad blood with the Braves. I think the Braves, like I said, they did the best they could do for him, and he's just been a little hard-headed, and he probably, looking back at it, probably regrets doing it that way. Like I said, 5 years, $125 million, $140 million. I'd have took either one of them. That would have lasted me a long time. All that because they wouldn't give him 6 years. That's ridiculous. But, it is what it is. And, I think we're going to do just fine without Freddie. I don't think it's going to hurt the Braves all that much. We got all of our core players and everybody that we had from a couple of years ago. So I think we're going to do pretty good. If you want to catch me on anything, I'm on Instagram, and we've got a Twitter under my wife's name. I'm not sure if the Instagram is under my wife's or my name. I can't remember how they put it. But if it's not under Derek Lehman, it'll be under Jessica Lehman. So usually I'm the one who checks them, though. And, I'll tell her if I find something. I told her just take time with this thing and let's see what happens with our unicorn bestie deal. While we got a computer, we might as well use it. But anyway, just want to kind of come out and do a quick video. And we're having a good day. She woke up this morning a little bit. She slept in a little bit because she was tired from last night. All that action from last night. So anyway, just kind of want to come out and do a small video. And may do one later. I don't know. We've got quite a bit of baseball on today. It's Sunday. So. But Braves got their rings last night. They probably had to send Freddie his. But it looked real good, real cool. They did a nice job on the ring. So that was worth the wait. But anyway, wish Braves luck. Hopefully they repeat as World Series champions. Braves have won 2 in Atlanta. And then when they were the Milwaukee Braves, Hank Aaron was on that team in 1957. So there's three, and then Boston Braves won one in like 19. It was. I want to say it was 1914. Anyway, it's in the 19 teams. So Boston Braves, Milwaukee Braves, and Atlanta Braves all together have won 4 championships. So again, I don't know if a ring was presented back in those days, but it probably looked nothing like what the Braves have got on currently. I know the '95 ring wasn't nowhere near as nice, but this one looks like it was. They took their time on it and they customized it good. They had a lot of historical meaning to it. Hank Aaron, we lost Hank Aaron last year. Has a lot of meaning to the ring, and it tells about why there's so many of this and that, and what the diamonds all mean. Oh, it's and it even pops open. They have a thing where it can pop open, kind of like a thing, where you can open it. It was pretty neat. So anyway, I hope the Braves repeat this year, and if not, hey, just getting into the playoffs will be all right with me. I've two World Series, 2 championships in my lifetime. That's pretty good. Most teams don't even get one. When you're a fan of certain teams, they don't even get one. I know it was 108 years for the Cubs. I mean, there's a lot of people who died and watched them for 40, 50 years. Probably didn't get to see the Cubs win that championship. So, it just depends on what team you're a fan of. If you're a fan of the Yankees, you've got one up to 2009, so you've had a good chance. 27 titles over, their illustrious history. They've won one, I think, just about every decade they've been in. So the Yankees are pretty well the relevant team, and Boston's catching up. They've started, their streak of luck started in 2004, and their last championship, I believe, was 2013, and I'm thinking they won one more after that, but I may be wrong. They won about 3 or 4, here in recent memories. So, again, but I'm a bigger Braves fan. I get those games a lot more, and I know a lot more about certain areas in baseball. It's a big name, But I like baseball, and I like that Hardcore Pond TV show. So I've been made a playlist of that sort of stuff. But like I said, if anybody ever wants to chat, especially female, if you're single or something, you happen to see a video or have some questions, comments, or something nice, not mean ones. If I feel led to respond to them or something, I will. My wife will, or whatever. But if we're ever out here and you want to comment or whatever, just let us know. All right, we'll see you later. Bye.